it would be really good to start now and tell us a little bit about yourself and kick us off.
Yes. Thank you so much for, first of all, for choosing me for a moderator for such a great cause gathering. So, of course, I welcome everyone to tonight's community resettlement updates, which was brought to us tonight by Supervisor David Halbert and his team. And of course, Kathy, that you all know that she has been working hard, and with also Supervisor Bahi, which nice to have him with us, and with partnership with the Five Pillars organization, one of the Afghan leaders, Sohail Bahadri. So also I want to thank everyone for being with us and participating, for all Afghan leaders that take initiative to be tonight with us, and joining other audience with us to hear what we can do together for our people, for our wounded country, Afghanistan, that after this disaster, we all know changing government made a lot of us to leave their beautiful homeland, no matter where they're gonna go, with no destiny. And I totally understand their pain. And I appreciate for each one of you that sharing this pain and ready to move on and help them. So this is Tamana Ansari again. I'm a host and producer of Faunus Show. I've been with Faunus Show and collaborating and involved with my community for many years, doing volunteer with those organizations that really working for Afghanistan, or my people here, for the community, or get and engage other ethnicities together. My statement is empower Afghans through love, music, art, and sports. And I've been a war child, don't remember anything but war. Most of my time is outside of my country, but always wish to go back to my country to see when I was playing as a little girl, but never happened. It's getting worse. And hopefully one day we all can grow as a team and see a beautiful Afghanistan. So yes, and also I'm joining Afghanistan Relief Alliance, helping Afghans, needy family in Afghanistan with a great team. And also I'm a member of Immigrant, Integration and Empowerment for Newcomers in Sacramento, because we have been dealing with newcomers or new people coming from our country for many years, not for the past few years, but not as a disaster like this. So anyways, again, welcome everyone. Hopefully we kind of have a good result and good sources after this meeting or this town hall. And now I'm going to hand it to great lady Kathy.
Thank you very much, Tamana. Good to have you on board with us. And looking at all the people in the house tonight, I'm just overwhelmed with the variety and the collaboration that's just beginning right here tonight. This is amazing. I wanted to say that welcome, and just over a year ago, 3 ladies came together to form the Tri-City Nonprofit Coalition to meet the demographic and financial needs of the Tri-Cities area. The 3 ladies are Tina Fernandez-Steckler, Lisa Stambaugh, who's here tonight, and myself. Our mission was to strengthen the ability of all Tri-City nonprofit organizations to successfully accomplish their respective missions by collaborating, sharing information, and raising community awareness. Kind of what we're doing here tonight. We usually have monthly speaker meetings that focus on things like social media strategies, tech for nonprofits, grant opportunities, and etc. And since I also wear the hat of the field director for Supervisor David Halbert, Tri-City Nonprofit Coalition is partnering with 2 of our county supervisors for this critical need to help and support Afghan refugees and evacuees. So Supervisor Halbert, Supervisor Valle, why are we doing this? Because partnerships and collaboration magnify the message and bring people together with best results. Before we move on to our presenters for the rest of the evening, which we're tightly packed, and you're going to hear stories and data and perspectives that will help you really understand what's going on in our region. I'd like to call on Lisa to share a bit about our upcoming meetings for the new year, and then we'll hear from our hardworking resettlement agencies, county office supervisors, and county-based organizations. Lisa, would you like to share what we have upcoming in the new year?
I would. Thanks for that great intro. And so the people in the room that know me know that I'm kind of a tech geek, and I've been organizing a series of presentations around digital marketing, which will be very valuable for the nonprofits and business people alike. Our January speaker is a digital marketing strategist who's going to talk about marketing funnel framework to simplify and strategize marketing efforts for the year ahead. And then in subsequent months, we're going to have some other speakers talk about specific aspects of digital marketing. February speakers already lined up. They're going to talk about email marketing and newsletters. And then we hope to, expand on that for the rest of the year. And you don't have to be a nonprofit to come to our meetings. They're open to everybody, but we're focusing on ways to help the nonprofits. I just want to thank our county supervisors for co-sponsoring this event with us. Super exciting to have your support in what we're trying to accomplish. And it's great, to help us have this venue to share important information about how we can all participate and support these newcomers that are joining our community.
And a quick housekeeping thing, I wanted to let everyone know who's logged on here tonight that you're going to get a lot of information and it's going to be hard to track it all. So we are recording the meeting, 1. 2, we will also be sending an email out to everyone who has registered with links to the agencies who've presented, donation links, donation opportunities. So a lot of what you hear tonight is going to be recapped in a follow-up email to you, as well as a little bit in the chat tonight. Take it away, Tamana.
Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're wonderful. So we're not going to miss any information. So let's have our supervisor, David Hubert. I want to mention very quickly a couple words about him that I want to repeat myself that in behalf of Afghan community, I want to thank him and thank his team that from day first, he was reaching out to the Afghan community, to each one of us, and ask how we can assist. So Mr. David Hubert, Mr. Supervisor, welcome to tonight's town hall, and thank you for supporting us.
Well, thank you, Tamana, and welcome everybody. I'm really proud of the team for putting this together. Thank you all for being here and learning. And as Kathy said, all the information that's being presented tonight will be recorded. You can rewatch it. Also, links will be emailed out. Everything that is explained tonight, you will have a link sent to you in email. Anyone that joined our meeting tonight, it will also be in the chat, so you can grab it off of the chat. The main point here is to learn an update on all of the different resources and agencies that are coming together to help resettle people who are being displaced from Afghanistan. We all know the humanitarian crisis that has ensued. It's incumbent upon us as good people to open our arms and welcome them. And these are people that have previously been our allies in Afghanistan. And the humanitarian need that the county is always in charge with is helping people's lives, whether that's with emergency food, whether that's with medical attention, whether that's with housing or housing rental assistance, things like this, the county is in charge with doing, and we're going to do the best job that we can for these people. So that's what we're going to listen in about. There will be opportunities for you coming out of this meeting to continue the work, and we're going to continue to have updates like this. So thank you for staying tuned with us. And I would like to say, welcome my colleague and good friend, Supervisor Richard Valle. I know he's up next to say a few words, and then we'll get right into the different presentations. And then we'll follow up at the end with the summary. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor David Howard, for your support and for the kind words. And our next speaker, as Supervisor David Hubert mentioned, is Supervisor Richard Behe from District 2. We're glad to have you tonight with us.
Tamana, do me a favor. I'm going to put something up to the screen and tell me if you can read what it says. Hold on.
Actually, no, down a little bit. Perfect. Oh, yeah, we can read it.
Can you tell us what that is?
Oh my God. Help me out, you guys. I can see, but.
Zuhal, can you see?
I can see the writing. Well, what happened? What happened to Super?
Well, this is before I was a supervisor. I had a visit from
Afghan.
Yeah, a governor from, is it Kunar?
Kunar.
I also had a visit with the governor of Herat.
Oh, okay.
And this was given to me. This is, can you identify what this is?
This is must be from, we call it lapis. Lapis.
Okay, so in
Lapis
Buddhism,
stone.
it's a very precious stone. It's lapis lazuli.
Precious and yeah.
Lazuli.
Wow,
So
that's
in
very
Buddhism,
beautiful.
it represents something that's very precious. And I believe that this stone is found only in the mountains of Afghanistan primarily, correct?
Right.
It's
In
if you can't see it,
Badakhshan.
yeah, it's a beautiful blue stone. And this was left as a gift when I met with the two governors. And that was before I was a supervisor and we had great relations. I was going to the University of Herat to work with the university students about recycling, because that's my other job. And I was ready to go. I had all my shots and everything else, but unfortunately, at home, I had another calling. So I had to stay home. However, when some of the refugees at that time, this was probably about 18 years ago, came to the United States, the recycling operation, we hired 4 of them. And today, 2 of them have retired. They were Teamster drivers. And the other 2 are still with us and they're Teamster union workers. And they work at the recycling operation in Union City at TriSed. So the company affiliation where I work with has been for a long time. And then when I became a supervisor, we began to work with Dr. Zamani and several other people and arranged for them to use the Veterans Niles Hall as a meeting place for meals and for meetings and for other opportunities for people to come together and share what they had suffered in Afghanistan in mental health groups. And I don't know if those groups are still meeting because of COVID, but that's one of the programs that we first funded from District 2 at the Niles Veterans Center. So I'm very glad and very proud to be a part of this evening. And our office stands along with Supervisor Halbert to not only support our Afghan refugees and welcome them, but also do everything we can to lift them up and make them a part of the fabric of our community. I look forward to the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that beautiful gift from Afghanistan. Actually, that stone gives, I think, the behind that, the story of that, to give comfort, and the stone that you keep it to yourself, it gives you comfort and peace. So hopefully you can look at it that way from now on. But thank you for sharing that, and thank you for your good speech. And now our speaker is Rahman from Burma Refugee Family Networking. Thank you so much to have you here with us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Tamana. Thank you for having me. My name
You're
is
welcome.
Jesus. I'm a program and case manager with Burma Refugees and Family Newcomers. I currently coordinate work in referrals and supervise case manager. We are a CBO based in Auckland, and we're co-located with refugee and immigrant transitions. So currently we're partnering with refugee and immigrant transitions and supporting resettlement agencies to provide assistance for newly arrived Afghans. Most of our referrals are from the IRC. We have about 100 families on our list. Our services are mainly focused on public benefits application. We connect clients with partners for temporary housing, free legal support. We also sign up clients with donation centers, school enrollment for children, adult English classes are some of the things that we do. We also provide emergency funds for vulnerable families. Most of our clients are staying with a US-style family for now, but we had some success in getting temporary housing for some of them. We work with New Anchor, and 2 families were able to get temporary housing with house hosting families. and will be able to stay from 3 to 6 months. 2 other clients got to stay at an Airbnb with the help of Afghan Coalition. 8 other families found apartments on their own, and they were able to get a month worth of rental assistance from New Anchor that amounts up to $2,000. We also provided emergency relief funding for about 9 clients. These are some of the success stories that our case managers shared, and there's a lot more. We also have challenges. Our biggest challenge now are permanent housing. That is the biggest issue. We also have issues with getting the clients their EAD cards and Social Security cards because they're being sent to IOM. And we need assistance to, or some person who can connect us with them. Some of our clients had success in getting their EAD cards, but they have to complete an address change form. These are some of the issues and successes that I have. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all these great sources. And hopefully that part of the housing will be, I know it's a huge issue, and hopefully that will be settled with help of other resources as well. Thank you so much. And now,
could I clarify one thing? Those cards, and I had to look it up because I didn't understand it either. The cards, is it EAD, AED? It's their employment authorization cards.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I had to look it up, so I wanted to be sure everyone here tonight.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. Kathy's always make our life easy.
Well, and that's what I think it's important for people to know is,
yes,
the Afghan people are coming here and they want to work and they want to integrate with everyone here in the United States. So anyway, thank you. I'll be quiet.
That's great. Thank you so much for the clarification, and thank you, Herman. And now we have one of our great Afghan leader here from IRC, Layla Samadi. I'm going to call her in Afghan way. Layla Jan, خوش آمدید.
سلام، تشکر بسیار زیاد تمنا جان. Salam dostay aziz. Hello everyone. So nice to see all of you. Thank you for this amazing opportunity to get together with all of these wonderful powerhouses in our communities. It's such a prideful moment for me as an Afghan, being a former Afghan refugee myself, having grown up here in the US, coming here as a little kid, and then now being here at the IRC and trying to serve the newcomers. So as sad as the event is and has been for all of us and tragic, it's just wonderful to see the community really gathering around and supporting the newcomers in this way. So just to give you an update, we have in this fiscal year, we have served 475 individuals. This does not include our current wait list of about 100 families, which are actually being provided with a lot of support from these amazing partners that we have here, like BRFN and RIT and Afghan Coalition and EBAC and so many others. I'm sure there's so many agencies and wonderful grassroots community organizations and efforts that are rallying around these folks as they come and as they wait for the process to get assured for services. Yeah, I just want to be, I'm just very grateful to be here with you all, and thank you all for your continued effort as we try to ramp up our services here. As you all know, refugee services had been cut down tremendously with the previous administration. And so with this administration, we've been able to increase, but during the same time that we had to meet this high need in a situation where the services were already cut. So our agencies were extremely small. Our resettlement department, was 2 people just a few months ago. And so you can imagine what it has been like internally to try to ramp up our services to meet the need and the challenge. And though thankfully the funding is coming down for resettlement services, it's a matter of getting recruiting appropriate caseworkers, getting them all trained, getting housing specialists, cultural orientation coordinators, many different services that we try to provide here at the IRC Oakland. And I'm here for anything that you may need. If you have community walk-in requests, we have set up an email that you can send those requests to at oakapa@rescue.org. So I'll also put that in the chat for everyone for tonight. We also have with us tonight an exciting new venture that I'm sure you guys have heard throughout the country, that because of the housing issue that so many of us are facing, we are talking about expanding or starting a community liaison sponsorship program. And I'll let Elgaiva Wood, who's here, who just recently started with us herself, explain more about that opportunity for our community partners.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Laila Jan. تشکر. ممنون شما. So now we have another great.
I'm so sorry. Can I just give a few minutes to Elgaiva just to share about community sponsorship?
I guess go ahead. Yes, Kelly. Go ahead, Laila Jan.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'll just speak really quickly. My name's Elgaiva Wood. I'm the Community Sponsorship Manager for San Jose and Oakland. Actually, both of our offices resettle Afghans in the Fremont area. So I'm representing both offices. This is the second week of my job. I did work in just San Jose office before, so I've switched roles. I'm excited to get started. With the recent influx of Afghans, one thing and the challenge to our agencies, actually, we were cut back way back to the extent where our resettlement program was zeroed out in San Jose. So I saw the effects of that. In October, just to put this in perspective, in San Jose, we received our allocation for the year in our resettlement program with just one caseworker and one housing specialist and a casework supervisor. So that was a very big challenge. That was a resettlement number of 190 people. And on top of that, we have a wait list of over 100 people.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's a great sources. So hopefully. So
if you want to, so we have an exciting venture, a way to get more deeply involved with Afghans. I'm going to be overseeing co-sponsorship of Afghan families. That means teams of volunteers who agree to raise funds for families and to help them get housed in the community and to provide core refugee services.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for working hard. And also at this point, we have another Afghan, a great leader that's been working for Afghan community for many years. Rona Popal, Executive Director of Afghan Coalition. Rona Jan, بفرمایید هستی؟ Do we have Rona Jan here?
If we don't, we can come back to her later.
Yeah, so probably as long as she's not in mute or hearing us. Okay, so we come back to Rona Jan or one of her team, hopefully. Now our next speaker is, according to the list that I have, is Fauzia Azizi from Jewish Family and Community Services. Fauzia Jan, بفرمایید شما.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
I am leading the Refugee Services Program at JFCS East Bay. JFCS East Bay has a long history of working with immigrants, and it has been more than 140 years that this organization is resettling refugees. It starts with Jews. Afterwards, they were resettling families from a former Soviet Union, And for past few years, a majority of our clients are individuals from Afghanistan that has a special immigrant visa holders. And a special immigrant visa holders, as you all know, are the folks who work with military, with American military back in Afghanistan, and now they found their life in threat, and they were given special immigrant visas to come to the United States. We have resettled more than 300 Afghans for past 3 months since Kabul collapse. Jewish Family and Community Services are providing comprehensive case management for all those families. That's including permanent housing, connect them with resources like public benefits, as well as Social Security numbers, and also assist those families to apply for work authorization and connect them with medical system, navigate them through school enrollment, ESL classes, as well as culture orientation. And that number that I give to you guys is not the number of the cases that we have as a walk-ins in our list, as well as the numbers of arrivals that being assigned to us through our headquarters. We have the higher volume of arrivals for the next 3 weeks due to urgent closing of 3 military bases. So they are trying to send all those families to their final destination in next 3 weeks. And those are Fort Lee, Fort Bliss, and Fort Quantico will be closed before December 18. And also they are trying to send most of those families that are in military bases to their final destination by February 15. It means that we were expecting more families to arrive in East Bay. And since Concord area and East Bay is the most impacted area, the challenge that we have right now is that the number of our walk-in cases are increasing every single day. And we are experiencing significant shortage of housing right now for families for long-term or permanent housing. And these are the challenges that we have in the ground. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Fawzia Jam, for the working hard and getting everything such a way that with other team. Thank you, appreciate it. And we have also tonight, like I mentioned in the beginning, that Zahal Jan Bahadiri is with us, who has been working very hard to put this together with Kathy and supervisor's team. So let me give hat to Zahal Jan. Zahal Bahadiri, are you hearing me?
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, and thank you, Tamana Jan. It's such an honor to share this space with everyone here today. First and foremost, before I begin, I want to say thank you to Supervisor Halbert for his continued support, and the amazing Kathy for working tirelessly around the clock to support our community in any way possible, and for bringing us all here together tonight. Thank you. My name is Zahal Bahadiri. I'm a government healthcare analyst by day and volunteer refugee resettlement coordinator by night. I'm one of the co-founders for the 5 Pillars. We are an Afghan-American-led organization that truly spurred into action during this refugee crisis. Our mission and goal is to really aid in the resettlement process by providing the immediate essentials, mobilizing the community for surge support for the resettlement agencies, and connect families to resources to help them towards self-sufficiency. We have partnered with the City of Hayward running the Afghan Refugee Relief Donation Hub, as well as IRC, County Supervisor Dave Halbert's office, and many more other organizations in our community to assist in this resettlement process, because as we know, the level of support that is needed is enormous, and by working together, we make sure these families get what is needed. So far, we've been able to assist over 125 families with the immediate essentials. We also provide assistance to families when they need to get to a doctor's appointment or assistance finding their way around the community. And we do this because we understand, especially being children of immigrant parents who came here over 35 years ago from Afghanistan, how important it is for their successful integration into our community in order to thrive. These families have come with nothing but the clothes they had on due to the nature of the evacuation. So the essentials that we provide are literally a fresh start for them. One family, for example, was on the verge of homelessness, and our group was able to step up to provide an extension for their hotel stay, as well as monetary support for food. And thanks to our partnership with IRC, they were able to locate temporary housing, shared housing for them for 3 months, and now their case has been assured. But with that said, one of the largest challenges we are facing today in this region is housing. The New York Times recently quoted one of our leading Afghan American lawyers, Humaira Husseini of AACO, saying, "Are we setting these families up for failure, or are we setting them up to fail in places where there aren't any jobs for them, but there is support?" And next, I want to echo one of our leaders at an important Muslim Public Affairs Council panel yesterday, who said, "When you don't have access to housing or income, it diminishes access to protecting their rights." So this takes me again to the most critical challenge we face today, of which you've already heard from others on this panel. Outside of providing the immediate essentials and getting them set up for benefits, refugees need homes. We are in a massive housing crisis. People's lives are being put on hold as they await for permanent housing in hotels until we can find housing for them. But I am looking forward to continuing this conversation with this region's stakeholders on finding real solutions for our housing crisis. But now I'd like to move forward to introduce our next guest. It's a great honor that I present Ahmad John, an evacuee resettled here. He's a civil engineer with the US Government Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction. Ahmad John, I'll give it to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity, Zal, John, and everyone who is on the board. Since I've given this opportunity to present my story and my experience, and probably it would be the only opportunity that I'm given that I could voice and can raise the voices of those Afghans that could not be heard because of their language barrier or because they could not have any platform. So I have put together my whole experience in 3 sections, and I would be very concise and very short, considering the time that I've given to me. I have the first phase of my journey coming from Afghanistan is what I call the shelter stage. I worked with the US government for over 6 years. And so when the situations were getting worse, I was told that we were told that we would be evacuated in a very dignified way, the way it should be for our Afghan allies. But we are thankful, very, very thankful that I'm very safe with my family right now, and everything that the civilians and the military could do, they did. That was possible. But it was not, I'm sure no one is very satisfied with how it could have been, how it was handled. And it was definitely, could have been done a better job. And the evacuation was very rushed and poor. And how it was, how I experienced myself. I was behind the airport door with my pregnant wife and my 3-year-old daughter for 17 hours, and experienced 2 to 3 air bombs, the bombs which were used to create sound and to disperse people. We were tear gassed, and we were smashed and beaten by Taliban. And we could not disclose our identity. That's just the experience behind the airport gate. But and I couldn't get my 2 single sisters and my widowed mother with myself because of the rush there. And yet, when we were there at the airport, just because there were not enough buses, we stayed at the airport at the one side of the airport for 3 nighs. And then we didn't know where we were headed when we sat in the military airplane, which is used for 250 people, and they put 450 people in that plane when we were boarding. And that brings me to my second phase of my refugee journey, which is uncertainty, where when I arrived at the Quantico Marine Base in Virginia on 29th of August, 2021. So we were based, we were housed in military barracks, large rooms which houses 50 to 200 people. We were offered meals that were, in most cases, either repetitive, half-cooked, or had a very awful taste. They were not, they were, most of the times when I would talk to the Marines, they were not neither American, neither Afghan food, nor Afghan food. And then we had only 2 pairs of clothes personally. We had just one pair of shoes. And we were told we had to stand in a queue every week and then find most of the time nothing in the donations that were sent to our camps. Either the donations were distributed unfairly and taken by some people, and those who work voluntarily in the camp, or they were not useful donations. And then out of all this, on top of all this, for weeks, there were no news on how the resettlement process would look like. Most feared that they would be deported or they would be left on their own. And for some, it looked like, so, I mean, it looks like it happened. It happened exactly like that. We had numerous questions on what is on immigration, what would be our immigration status? What is the immigration pathway? What would be the immigration assistance that we would be entitled to? There were either no information or contradictory, or they were either very, very late information that were given to us. The fact that we realized that the resettlement agencies do not have the resources to handle all these Afghans in Virginia, California, or other areas. So most of the people should either move to the states where they did not know anyone, or they stayed in camps for months. I know my fellow roommates that they are still in Quantico camp, and they have a very terrible mental situation, mental condition that I'm very worried for them. I departed through my agency just because my sister offered me temporary residency, housing, until I find a house. And when I settled in my home in Fremont, the agency was unable to help me because it was based in Los Angeles. And that brings me to my third phase of my journey, which is being forgotten. I found the house myself, leased it based on the employment history that I had in Afghanistan, and a letter from the agency and everything that I was entitled to receive. But it was very hard to demonstrate all these renting requirements. And then I'm very thankful that the agency could pay my first month rent using my welcome money, but I had to apply for my social benefits, and they are still not approved. I have to apply myself, and just because I'm not trained as a social worker, I did not know how the social benefits applications can be processed and can be followed up. We do not have any medical insurance, but I could get, after 3 weeks, a temporary medical insurance for my pregnant wife. And I had to stay for hours. I have a screenshot that I stayed for 3.5 hours on a call with an operator to get an appointment for my wife. And I had to call every day. But just because I'm not trained, I didn't know how to do all this. So just knowing English was not enough. But I'm wondering how would other people would deal with all this. And in the midst of this, I heard about the 5-Pillar organization, and through an Afghan friend. And this organization helped me with my housing supplies, kitchen and cooking essentials, some clothes, and most of all, a foam mattress and blankets. We barely set up our new house with their assistance, and could sleep on mattress after 3 months of leaving our home in Kabul. When I met them, I realized they are volunteers, and then yet they could gather this much support and could reach helpless Afghans resettled as far as Modesto. Another organization that helped me was MCC, which I'm very happy they helped me with my rents. But this just gave me this sense after working in Afghanistan and with the US government and with all these going through this. I would like to just, my conclusion just comes around is, and after hearing you all and the challenges that you are faced or the Afghans are facing, I think if passionate people and young people like 5 Pillar organizations, MCC and others could do it, it's just an example on how this whole evacuation resettlement process should have been managed in a more decentralized and community level. And how this resource should be allocated to that, so that they can reach the needfuls. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ahmad Jan. Thank you for being with us and welcome to United States. I'm glad you got a better land to continue your living with your kids. And thank you for sharing that story. I'm just saying in Farsi, خوش آمدین به امریکا. انشالله که راحت و آرام باشین. Thank you. Our next speaker is, well, time is running, so let's be a little more generous, more careful about the time. Unfortunately, we have to make it quick because I know everybody in this evening is busy doing something else, and their meeting is coming probably for some of us. Our next speaker is Anissa Basoko from Alameda County Social Services.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anissa Basoko Villarreal. I'm an assistant agency director for the Alameda County Social Services Agency. I just wanted to quickly respond to you, Sir Marsh. I didn't quite get your name, but welcome to California, to our Alameda County, and thank you for raising the disconnects in receiving public benefits. Part of our role is to make sure that you are able to receive services, and so we've heard you loud and clear, and we will make sure that you, among others, are able to connect to public benefits as quickly as possible. Our agency receives funding from the California Department of Social Services Agency. It's our partner, kind of parent agency from the state that gives us funding. And our funding then rolls over to communities and our Alameda County Resettlement agencies. So a part of our role is to fund the resettlement agencies to provide initial services up to 90 days. Those services include pre-migration documentations, assistance with finding initial housing, household goods, cultural orientation, and assistance with medical and health services. So to your point, our job is to help connect you to those services. I did want to just quickly note Rahman Zamani, who is our immigrant and refugee coordinator, who is also on the call this evening. And Rahman, if you wanted to quickly add any additional information.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anissa, for all the sources that you provide. Our next speaker is Amina Abdullah from MCC East Bay. She has been very helpful for the community for many years. So Amina, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Thank you for having me tonight. It's nice to
You're welcome.
finally put some faces to the names of the people that I speak to on the phone quite so often.
Yes, we did. Yes.
So just a quick brief bit about MCC. We've been working with refugees for many years before the Afghan crisis. When the Afghan crisis came, we joined partners with another local mosque, San Ramon Valley Islamic Center, and we've been supporting IRC and Jewish Family Services. With IRC, they've been referring families to us for apartment setups. So we've done about 25 apartment setups. We also have a thriving food pantry. And we've added about 60 or more refugee families to our food pantry list. And every 2 weeks, they get groceries delivered by our volunteers. We've also had one bazaar event in November where families could come and shop for clothing, blankets, shoes, coats. We've been able to give out laptops, things like that to the families. And then this coming Saturday, we're having our second event, and we're adding to it a job readiness fair. We've partnered with Apple and Unbound Charter, and they're going to be doing a job readiness event for about 60 individuals. They'll create a resume, a LinkedIn account, interview skills, and then in January, they'll have an actual job fair with 40 or more companies where they'll be able to apply and hopefully get hired on the spot for jobs. We're also helping families with rental assistance. And again, we see the same perplexing struggle, which is housing. Many refugees come to us, can you co-sign and help me get an apartment? Unfortunately, we can't do that, but we are here to help in every other way possible. And I'll throw my email in the chat if anyone has any questions or knows of refugee families that need assistance that we offer. We are happy to help. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Amina. Thank you for your help and thank you for your hard work. Our next speaker is, my dear audience tonight, is Debbie Michael from Jewish Family Services in Silicon Valley. Debbie.
Thank you for including Jewish Family Services of Silicon Valley in tonight's event. We're honored to be here. I'm Debbie Michaels, the Refugee Resettlement Housing Coordinator for JFSSV, and I'm echoing so much of what's already been said tonight. Since 1978, JFSSV has been empowering individuals and families facing life's challenges by providing quality human services inspired by Jewish values of social responsibility, compassion, and respect for all members of the community. And this includes our refugee resettlement and acculturation services. We are one of only 2 agencies that resettles refugees in Santa Clara County. Last year, like many said, our resettlement program was greatly diminished and we resettled about 50 refugees. Over the next 12 months, we expect to resettle more than 475 refugees, at least 7 to 8 times what we've been doing for the last year or so. And most of these refugees are from Afghanistan. Since July, we've resettled approximately 100 people. And just this week, we had 15 new arrivals, plus we are getting walk-ins. And our goal is to take these refugees from being dependent on the system to that of being self-sufficient contributors to society. So we work with their sponsors pre-arrival. We help them find affordable housing, which is what I'm responsible for. We connect them with doctors, schools, emergency food. We teach them English. We help them get their first jobs in America and the government assistance they need to survive until they're employed and can provide for themselves. And at this moment in time, our biggest needs are housing, we've heard that a lot, and financial assistance. So in terms of housing, we need access to and support for below market rate housing. As everyone has said, we live in one of the most expensive areas in the United States. And upon arrival, our refugees don't yet have social security numbers, which means they don't yet have jobs, credit history, or 2 to 3 times the monthly income that landlords often require. So we're looking for landlords who are willing to take a risk on our clients. And this is our #1 challenge. I manage a volunteer team of 6 people who actively go out and pursue housing, and we find housing for our refugees. And we're communicating this daily into the community. And lastly, we need a great deal of financial support to, as everyone said, gear up, manage, and sustain this large resettlement operation. We established the Ruth Perkins Emergency Fund for Refugee Services as a way to meet refugee resettlement needs. And these monies provide housing assistance, emergency food, and counseling for those suffering from PTSD and with special needs. And we use the funds to ensure that each adult we resettle has a usable phone and phone contract so that they can connect to potential employers, doctors, their children's schools, and their case managers. And then in addition, once we find permanent housing for our clients, we fully furnish their housing with all essential household goods and furniture. And there's quite an expense to purchase, manage, and store all these items. So that's us in a very high level nutshell. And thank you again for your time. And please contact me with any questions.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for your time and being with us tonight.
Thank you.
And now our next speaker is Dr. Zareen Noor, she's a doctor in Children's Hospital in Oakland, a pediatrician and HHRI co-director. Please welcome Zareen.
Thank you so much, Tashakar. Thank you so much, thank you, Supervisor Howard and Supervisor Valle for this platform and letting us kind of come together. I am a pediatrician at Children's Hospital Oakland at our primary care division. We're a federally qualified health center where we see children and provide medical care for them. I am the director of a Center of Excellence for Immigrant Child Health and Wellbeing, where we provide advocacy and training and around trauma-informed care and cultural humility when it comes to the care of immigrant children. We've been in collaboration with the American Academy of Pediatrics and held some webinars and training around the medical and healthcare of Afghan new arrivals. I've been in touch with the Office of Refugee Resettlement regarding the unaccompanied Afghan minors who are in their custody and ensuring that they are getting adequate care and support. And we are also, I also am a practicing pediatrician, and so I am part of this primary care clinic where we provide care, and I can help support kids with complex medical needs and get them connected to subspecialist services. And so I have been in touch with many of the folks here on cases where families are come in with a child with special needs or or complex medical needs and need to be plugged into services and get their CCS and all kinds of services. I work with them to get them plugged in. In addition, as part of the Health and Human Rights Initiative, we provide forensic medical and psychological evaluations, and with the wonderful support of the dear and late Supervisor Wilma Chan through Measure A, we were able to start our pediatric asylum clinic. And I know that there have been some concerns regarding denial of humanitarian parole for Afghans and having more stringent criteria for those paroles and having them go through the asylum process. And so, you know, we offer pro bono forensic medical and psychological evaluations. We have a San Francisco site for the adults, and we have a pediatric sites in Oakland. And so I know as the immediate needs of getting them housed and getting their medical care, some folks will be going through that process, and we'll be able to provide that support. I'll put the links in the chat and my contact information. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Zarinja. Thank you for all the help that you gave for Afghans, especially newcomers and refugees, beside your that you give the service. Now our speaker would be Jane Peck. Jane Peck from Refugee Immigrant Transitions. We call it also abbreviated RIT. Are you with us, Jane?
Yes, thank you so much for inviting us and having this opportunity of bringing everyone together. Very grateful to be in the space with all of you. I know we're short on time, so I'll fly through this. My name is Jane Pack. I'm co-executive director at Refugee and Immigrant Transition. Many of you might know my wonderful partner, Laura Vordre, who does a lot of work on the program side. So just very quickly, I do want to honor everybody in the room, especially those of you with lived experiences. I identify as a child of refugees and really want to honor the knowledge and the wisdom that you bring to this space, and very much so, especially the 5 pillar groups and the group and the earlier experiences shared, for pointing out the systemic barriers and the challenges that folks face that we might not necessarily see. And I think very much that needs to inform our work. So thank you so much for that. In terms of what we've been doing, I'm so glad that Rahman was here earlier from Burma Refugee Families and Newcomers. We work very closely with them. From a direct service side, we've received more than 120 referrals for walk-in cases, but also 12 assured cases from resettlement agencies. And so we've been working very closely with them. We've worked with many of you from EBRIF and other coalition groups in the East Bay, and so grateful for that. In addition to the resettlement work and the post-resettlement work, we've been helping a lot on the school sites. This is primarily the work that RIT does is in terms of education, family engagement, community leadership. So in addition to enrolling kids in schools, we do a lot of tutoring, so on and so forth. So we have our focus on the long-term future of folks who are transitioning into our communities, as we've been doing for the last 40 years. Part of that is also expanding our wellness services with our women's initiative that was started with Afghan women a number of years ago, and who are preparing right now to welcome newer arrivals in culturally appropriate and relevant ways. And then also working with enrolling folks in our women's classes with multilingual instructors, and then mobilizing volunteers as well. In terms of challenges, very quickly, I think I just again want to honor the coalitions and the partnerships in the East Bay. As many have mentioned, the cost of living here in the Bay Area and in the East Bay, I think we're looking to establish other partnerships as well in Contra Costa and San Joaquin, where folks are being resettled. And those partnerships aren't necessarily there as strong as in Alameda, which is really beautiful. And then if anything we can do to support any advocacy efforts, we'd be very happy to do that, especially as the humanitarian portal pathway seems to be closing. We've got many staff members, team members, and community members who are still trying to get family members out. So whatever we can do to help advocate on that front, please sign us up. I'll drop my email in the chat as well. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here in time. And now we have Rahman Zamani from Alameda County Social Services. آقای زمانی با ما هستین؟
بله، thank you so much. I'm Rahman Zamani from California Social Services Agency. I'm also the Alameda County Refugee Coordinator. I just wanted to briefly talk about the recent arrival data and available benefits and services for our clients. California is projected to take more arrivals than other states. It was initially expecting to receive 5,255 humanitarian parolees. Then that number was increased to 15,000, and now it's more than 20,000. To giving you a sense of comparing this information with the last year, the total number of actual arrival for California last year was around 4,000, and this year only till end of November, only for the HPA clients, it's 6,722 clients. In Alameda County alone, last year, the total numbers were 182. And this year, for the first 2 to 3 months, the number is 255. So, and we are expecting more and more new arrivals. Alameda County is among the refugee impacted counties. Sacramento County was at the top, followed by San Diego last year. And so far in Social Services Agency, we processed 226 individuals in cases for their benefits. They are coming from different cities. Oakland is at the top, 61 cases from Oakland, then Fremont, 44 cases, Hayward, 34 cases. In terms of public benefits offered by Social Services Agency, cash assistance is one of them. We have 2 types of cash assistance. One is for refugee, for the adults, individuals without eligible children. That cash assistance is for 8 months. It's called RCA. And then we have called Works. This is for those with children. And that assistance is continued for 48 months. Clients are also receiving medical for their medical needs, and mental health is included. And a CalFresh or California Food Assistance Program for their food and nutrition needs is also provided to these clients. And it's coming with refugee support services as well. The key program component of refugee support services includes employment services, vocational English and second language classes, social adjustment, and also removal of barriers toward employment. Social Services Agency is also providing transportation assistance, childcare assistance, diaper costs for children under 36 months, domestic violence services, and homeless assistance. Clients can apply online, by phone, by mail, by fax, and also in person. And the best resource is our website for clients and also for the community members and community organizations. It's www.alamedacountysocialservices.org, which is providing a lot of information.
Thank you, Aghay Zamani. Thank you so much. I appreciate it for all sources that you provide for Afghan refugees. And Now we call Paula Hanna from Fremont, Human Resources Development Officer.
Hi, first of all, thank you for including the Human Services Department in this important discussion. We're really happy to be here. I'm Paula Manzik-Hene. I'm the Development Officer for the City of Fremont Human Services Department, and I oversee or manage the Afghan Refugee Help Fund. We established the fund in August in anticipation of an influx of newcomers to the Fremont area, to help fund the gaps in services or in needs that the refugees might experience when they're arriving here. And we were very lucky to have extensive coverage of our fund, including being included in a New York Times piece early on in the crisis as a way to help refugees. So we've received over $375,000 in donations from over 1,000 people from 40 states. And we're really happy to have that support, and some of the organizations that have supported us are on this call as well. And what we do is we have a kind of a mini grant process where we support organizations or individuals that are being served with their needs. And we've funded things like cell phones for new arrivals, emergency food support, housing support. We've provided some support for capacity building in some of the organizations so they can serve more people. It's really an open process, and we're open to hearing how we can help organizations or individuals in the Fremont area with what they need. We still have money available. We've granted out about $191,000 so far. And so we have applications a rolling process every week. If you are interested in how you can apply, you can look at fremont.gov/ARHelp. If you have any questions, you're welcome to email me at arhelp@fremont.gov, and I can talk you through some information if you'd like. And we're just happy to be able to help.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you for being available. And now I give, well, actually from Afghan Coalition, looks like we got in the board, Mishgan Zahir. Are you, Mishgan John, with us?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much. And I apologize for earlier, but I'm glad to be able to join on behalf of Rona Popal. The Afghan Coalition was established in 1996 and incorporated in 2001. So we're a trusted entity in the Afghan community. So as we're seeing people resettle in different cities, they're still migrating into the Fremont area. We are housed in the Fremont Family Resource Center, where we're able to tap into a lot of the different resources that are available to us, and are very appreciative of the city of Fremont and the support and assistance that they have provided. For us, the area that we're focusing on currently is, of course, housing. So in the case of individuals who are being caught in wait lists or in difficult situations where they have left the military bases and do not know where to go and what to do after the fact, we are providing emergency housing for 1 month's time to see if we can get them on their feet. Finding, of course, that we're trying to extend that time with our Airbnb grant and other funders to see if we can get additional months allocated. But something is better than nothing at this point, considering that if they're on a wait list, they do not qualify for housing in a lot of cases. We do provide other emergency services as well. We provide health and mental health navigation, including prevention and early intervention support. And we provide support coping with Ulysses syndrome, or what is known as immigrant syndrome, that comes with chronic and multiple stressors that accompany extreme migratory grief. So essentially, when people resettle in the United States, we're finding that it's becoming really difficult for them. And in order to prevent some of the later harms harms that are caused by mental health, we are abiding by what's known as the Ulysses Syndrome scale to ensure that we're providing other agencies support in culturally appropriate manners as well, so that they can help educate our community and help resettle our community in a more culturally appropriate manner. We provide education, navigation, and assimilation support for children and families, culturally sensitive training, educational conference participation, and support for other resettlement agencies and other settlement agencies, meaning that we do help with translation, we do help with providing as much information culturally as is available to us, and any information as far as the Afghan community is concerned in being their voice to some of the resettlement agencies with whom we work. We are also serving as subject matter experts to the media. And in addition to that, we play a variety of roles to ensure that the policies that are being made are those that are really speaking to the community. We have a very small staff, so we're working on a very thin staff, very thin funding, but able to serve a significant number of people who are walking into our doors, and doing our best to work alongside each and every one of you, and doing our best to ensure that the community is heard more than anything, and their struggles are seen.
Thank you, Mishkan Jan. Thank you, Mishkan Zahir, for amazing job that Afghan Coalition has been offering for the Afghan community. And now I hand this part of the time for Zahal Bahadri talking about how we can sponsor. So we heard all the sources from all these great leaders that come in. And Zahal John, are you there? Zahal Bahadri.
I'm right here. Yep.
Okay,
I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay.
Let's move on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's move on. So we spoke on the need for essentials because the families that have arrived have come with nothing. So we've identified 5 urgent IRC families that need their new homes furnished. What don't need the essentials? Supervisor Halbert, you've been our big supporter. May you help us out here? I'm gonna hand this over to you. Supervisor Halbert?
I have to unmute myself, Zuhal. Apologies.
That would help.
Yes, I am looking forward to learning more about these 5 families that we've identified, and I've been looking for these families to be identified and hoping that we would be able to identify families and the ability to jump right in and to sponsor a family. And I know that some people are already on this call considering this. Is this the right thing for them to do? Do they know somebody maybe that they can refer to do this, that they know this person, their friend of theirs, would be willing to sponsor a family? And I know that out there, if we spread the word, there are those people that are waiting and just wondering, is it right for them to do? And I think the best way to get it started is for somebody to step up and to say that we're going to do that, that I'm going to do that. And so tonight, I'm going to be that one, and I'm going to say I'm willing to stand up and sponsor a family. I don't know which family yet. I can't wait to find out which one it will be, but I'm going to tell you that I'm looking forward and I'm excited to stand alongside somebody that has come so far around the world with nothing in their hands and nothing in their pockets, but that is willing to start a new life here in America. Somebody that is going to, I believe, with the help and resources that I can give them, will thrive in America, which is what America is built on. And so I'm looking for that right family. I will sponsor that family. And let me tell you that I'm happy to do it, that I know other people are happy to do it. The opportunity to serve, the opportunity to give back, the opportunity to help somebody for the long haul is an amazing gift that we can give somebody. I'm happy to take that gift because I know it will make me better. But let me tell you also why. Back in the 1940s, my wife's mom was indeed also a refugee fleeing Europe during World War II, was hidden in people's homes in an attic, in a spare room, from home to home, until she was able to reunite with her extended family first from Europe to New York to San Francisco. And from there, somebody who never would have had a chance to survive without the generosity of a family taking somebody in, was able to start her life over in America, to raise a family, to live, God bless her, still to this day, the ripe age of 94 and still going strong. Would never have that opportunity without the generosity of Europeans and Americans taking her in, helping her out, getting her settled, and the rest is a 60-year history of her family. We have the opportunity to provide that for people today that have come to our country with nothing in their pockets and nothing in their hands, knowing that 60 years from now, they will have raised their family, raised their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren to be great American citizens. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. I can't wait to find that right family. And I'm going to be very, very clear about how we will walk alongside them and share with everyone their successes, because they will be successful working together. I can't wait. So Zuhal, thank you for the opportunity. I can't wait to do it. Kathy, thank you for the opportunity. Tamana, thank you for the opportunity. To the staff from Alameda County, thank you for the opportunity to help make this happen. It wouldn't happen without you, but it's going to be a great success going forward. And I challenge everyone to jump in. If you're ready tonight, go for it. If you're not, you will be soon. Jump in, support a family, sponsor a family, spread the word to others that would sponsor a family. Let's make this happen.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor Halbert. I appreciate that. And I guess thank you for that feeling that you have, strong feeling, offer your support, offer that sponsoring a family by your own. Again, hopefully that we all gonna get together and all these sources that we have. And it's amazing, actually, that's amazing hometown that we get all like all these great people with great sources. So definitely these people that out of nowhere, it happened that they leave their home, their family, their homeland, come here, and they're looking into each one of us. And we appreciate everyone's effort here, and especially to your team and to those that putting this together and get us together and to collaborate. And so John, if you have something to say, otherwise I'm gonna have one more question for Supervisor Halbert, and then we're gonna say goodnight because I know we're 15 minutes late.
Actually, Tamana, please let me, this is Kathy, if I could say real quick, I was hoping that Zuhal, I think she put in the chat that the sponsorship is being handled with the Five Pillars organization.
Okay, great.
And it is, and you can contact them directly. Their information will be on the Tri-City Nonprofit Coalition page. Right. And sponsorship includes not having them move into your home, but helping them be able to furnish where they are living and all the supplies that they need, clothing, household supplies, bedding. That's one. And then I couldn't, also want to let you know there will be local donation places for us to accept new clothing, new household supplies. That's also will be, those locations will be on our webpage, so that those kind of things can come in, as well as monetary donations to the organizations you've heard from tonight. And I wanted to give a shout out to Ginny from Supervisor Valle's office for helping me do outreach and get so many people in on this meeting tonight. Thank you, Ginny. And I think that leads us to Supervisor Valle.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for your input. The last question is, Supervisor Halbert, is again for you. What would be next step? Do you have any plan for any fundraising or any other plan you have?
Well, Supervisor Valle, I think, is next. Please let him speak. And then I would like to mention one last thing that Kathy reminded me about, but let's have Supervisor Valle have a chance.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
I want to thank my colleague for the challenge. So our office is going to donate $5,000 to the 5 families, $5,000 per family.
Wow.
That'll be a contribution going directly to 5 Pillars. I want to thank the founders of 5 Pillars, Arzo Madavi and Zuhal Baraduri. I hope I got that right. But if you have other families that are in need, I've taken up the challenge from my colleague. We will do the same for other families up to $5,000 per family.
Thank you.
Through
Thank
5
you so
Pillars.
much. That's amazing.
One last thing I want to say. Yeah, the other job that I do hold, I'm the president and CEO of California's largest nonprofit recycling operation based in Union City. If you have youth in these families ages 14 to 22 years old, and they're looking for part-time work or full-time work, I have immediate openings for 6 youth, ranging from $17 to $20 an hour. Please have them contact Jenny, and we will work with them to get them actively employed and creating income for their families.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And I really appreciate the challenge my colleague made to me. Anytime, Dave. We're up there shoulder to shoulder with you, pulling for our fellow refugees to make life better for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's give us a round of applause. That's great.
Tamana, is it to me next?
You are next, Supervisor Albert. What do you have? I mean, I have to say it again. I want to know that I want to share this because day first that the government changed and I was shocked. I was lost and I didn't know what's going on in my country, to be honest. And who called? Supervisor Albert called and said, what can I do? I was like, I have no idea. He's like, I'm going to give just one speech, I guess. So I never forget that moment. Go ahead. And now what else we can do with help of Supervisor Vahi and all other great team that they're together with us tonight.
Yeah, Tamana, you reminded me, I was driving cross country, bringing my daughter back to university when I heard the news and had driving through Texas and through New Mexico at the time, actually, called ahead to the city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, who I happened to know the mayor because of my U.S. Conference of Mayors. He set me up in a small office in Albuquerque where I did a video to the Afghan people back home to say how we had heard the message, we're going to jump on top of this, and then got back on the road to take my daughter to university. And I remember sending that to you.
Yes,
that feels like so long ago. So we've been, and I have to say to my colleague, Supervisor Vahi, you're absolutely amazing and never shy to rise to the challenge. Thank you for your extreme generosity. Let's work together, spread the word, and have others jump on board, not only for your financial support, but to hire people. A job is so valuable, and to be so generous with those is amazing. We've also been looking ahead. What can we do? Things take time to plan, and we wanted to plan something. We're still planning it, but we're thinking about and want to announce that we're looking at the spring timeframe. We don't have an exact date yet, sometime in March, sometime in April, but a large gala fundraiser that we could sell tickets to and that we could have entertainment. We're thinking of very cultural entertainment, some groups maybe that are Afghan, that can provide Afghan entertainment, that can help the Afghan refugees feel at home. Maybe even some of the Afghan refugees have talent and want to perform at this gala, that we would sell tickets to, that we would have food provided, that we would have a true gala type event, something that we haven't been able to do as a community here in America for a couple of years. We've all been to galas before, but COVID has put that behind us. God willing, if the COVID goes to an acceptable level, we could have a gala that we would all enjoy going to, but that we can sell sponsorships for, that we can sell tickets to, that we can have an outlet for people to donate to a gala. We're looking forward to having that sometime in the spring. Kathy and her colleagues on Supervisor Valle's team will be working on this because, again, the Fremont-Hayward area is the epicenter for Alameda County as well as Oakland. But we're going to be putting this on somewhere in the Fremont-Hayward area, and I'm looking forward to doing that. It takes time to plan, bear with us, but it will be something big that we can all be proud of in the right time frame. And I think we'll show the world the success of those people that have been able to come here to America from Afghanistan and to be able to plant themselves here and thrive. We're going to be celebrating those successes. It'll take some time, but it'll be done in a very, very professional way, I can assure you.
Thank you, Supervisor Howard. And with these beautiful words that you just mentioned, let's be united, let's be together and make this happen. And hopefully all these refugees or newcomers that coming out of nowhere, I'm repeating myself, let's get them resettled with help of supervisors team, both supervisors team and all these great people. I'm gonna tell you guys what, put your hands together for each one of you tonight, that we show a great being united and being together and being participating to the good cause. And hopefully that will be end of it. And we can all stay happy and live with peace around the world with no COVID, no any other interruption. And we live all happy together as a one nation in the United States and around the country and in Afghanistan. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here with us, and thank you for choosing me to be the moderator. I hope I did enough job to keep everyone on the board with the timing. So sorry, we're 25 minutes late. Next time we're gonna be in time. So have a good evening, you all, and
thank you,
see you guys again. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Zahab.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Ronnie.
So how I can, let me see.
Okay, I will end it.